The movie starts with a tense scene in a warehouse in Mexico. Colonel John Hannibal Smith is tied to a chair by two corrupt federal police officers working for General Javier Tuco. The officers unleash two attack dogs to kill Hannibal, but he cleverly escapes by removing his handcuffs with a needle and putting them on one of the dogs. Hannibal's mission is to rescue his teammate, Templeton Facepeck, who is being held at Tuco's farm. Face is beaten and locked in tires by Tuco, who found out Face's plan to catch him. Hannibal came to Mexico to help Face, but got captured by Tuco's men. Determined to save Face, Hannibal looks for a way to get to Tuco's ranch. On the highway, he stops a van driven by B.A. Baracus. Hannibal threatens Baracus by shooting his right arm, but then shows his ranger tattoo, proving they both have a military background. They join forces to save Face from Tuco. Hannibal and Baracus arrive at the ranch and create chaos to rescue Face. They set the ranch on fire and fight Tuco and his men. Hannibal uses his skills to shoot at Tuco, but Tuco and his wife escape. Face, still tied in tires, rolls to safety and ends up next to Baracus's van. The trio then goes to an army hospital to find a pilot named Howling Mad Murdoch, who is known for his daring flying skills. As they board a medical helicopter, Tuco's troops attack them. Hannibal returns fire while Murdoch flies the helicopter away, avoiding the attack. Soon, Tuco's helicopter chases them and fires two missiles. Murdoch uses his flying skills to outmaneuver the missiles, causing them to crash and explode. Murdoch guides the helicopter safely, and they chase Tuco to the U.S. border. There, U.S. fighter planes destroy Tuco's helicopter in a fiery explosion. With their mission completed, Hannibal, Face, Baracus, and Murdoch can finally relax, knowing they have defeated a dangerous criminal. 8 years after their successful mission in Mexico, Hannibal, Baracus, Face, and Murdoch have become a famous elite combat unit called the A-Team. They have completed 80 missions and are known for taking on the toughest jobs. One day, a CIA agent named Lynch contacts Hannibal. Lynch tells him that Iraq has stolen U.S. Treasury plates used to print money. He asks the A-Team to help get the plates back. The team goes to an Iraqi military camp, where Hannibal meets Lynch to talk about the mission. Lynch explains that the Iraqis have printed $1 billion with the stolen plates and plan to move the money out of Baghdad that night. Hannibal and his team must stop the convoy and retrieve the plates and the money. As they prepare for the mission, Captain Carissa Sosa, Face's ex-girlfriend, warns them. She works in the Defense Criminal Investigative Service and tells Face that the mission is not approved by the U.S. military and could have serious consequences. Hannibal talks to his commanding officer, General Morrison, about the mission. Morrison does not forbid the mission but offers to help Hannibal keep it secret from the rest of the team. They agree, and Hannibal is eager to start. However, as Hannibal and Baracus leave Morrison's office, they face an unexpected problem. An elite special forces team called the Black Forest, led by Brock Pike, appears and threatens their mission. At night, the A-Team gets ready. They wait for the container with the plates and money. When it arrives, they hijack it and throw it into the river, where Murdoch is waiting to take it to their meeting point with Morrison. Just as Morrison's car arrives, there is a huge explosion. The Black Forest troops attack, blowing up Morrison's car and causing chaos. The mission fails, and the A-Team is charged with theft and other crimes. They face a military tribunal and severe consequences. Even though they say the mission was ordered by Morrison, the tribunal finds them guilty. Morrison was declared dead in the car explosion, so the A-Team cannot prove their innocence. They lose their positions in the U.S. military and are dishonorably discharged. They are also sentenced to prison for their actions. 6 months after Hannibal and his team were sent to prison, Hannibal was in a Colorado military prison. One day, he got a surprise visit from Warden Lynch. Lynch told Hannibal that Pike, the leader of the Black Forest, was trying to sell the stolen plate on the black market with the help of an Arab official. Lynch wanted Hannibal's help to get the plate back. At first, Hannibal was unsure, but he agreed to help if Lynch would clear his and his team's names. Lynch agreed and sent Hannibal a package of books. One of the books had a cigar filled with chemicals that could stop a person's heartbeat. Using the cigar, Hannibal faked his death and was put in a state of suspended animation. Just before his body was to be burned, Hannibal woke up and escaped from prison. Next, Hannibal aimed to free Face, who was in a different prison. Hannibal stole a tanning box Face was using and broke him out. Then, they focused on freeing Baracus, who was being moved to another military prison. They chased the bus carrying him with a car and a code on the license plate. When Baracus saw what was happening, he moved to the back door of the bus. Face released a rope from the car, opening the back door of the bus, and Baracus escaped. Later, Hannibal, Face, and Baracus went to Germany to free Murdoch, who was in a mental hospital pretending to be insane. Before they arrived, Sosa visited the asylum to make sure Murdoch didn't escape. As Sosa checked the situation, Murdoch was about to watch a 3D movie and acted insane. Just as Sosa put on her 3D glasses, Hannibal and the others crashed a car through the hospital walls and rescued Murdoch. Sosa tried to stop them, but they escaped and headed to a U.S. military base in Germany. They wanted to steal a Hercules plane with a tank to leave Germany. Hannibal and Murdoch got on the plane and went to the cockpit to take off. Sosa and her team chased them, trying to stop the plane. As the plane started down the runway, Sosa approached with her team. Murdoch kept moving forward, dodging parked planes. Sosa chased them in her car, almost touching the plane's wheels. Murdoch and Hannibal were in the cockpit when they heard two unmanned Reaper aircraft coming. They tried to defend the plane, but one Reaper shot the plane's wing, making it roll out of control. Hannibal and the others quickly went to the escape tank. They launched the tank into the air, dodging fire. They fought the Reaper planes with the tank and managed to bring them down, crashing into a nearby lake. People living nearby were shocked as they saw the escape tank fall from the sky and splash into the water. When the A-Team arrived in Berlin with their tank, Sosa and her team were still investigating, trying to find out how Hannibal was released from prison. After months of work, they discovered that Lynch was behind it. Sosa contacted Lynch, warning him to stay away from Hannibal and his team. She told him that any interference could cost him his job, and she was ready to take action if needed. Lynch saw Sosa as a threat to Hannibal's mission and wanted to get rid of her. Hannibal met with his team and shared his suspicion that Lynch would do anything to ensure their mission's success, including harming Sosa and her team. Hannibal asked Face to protect Sosa. The next day, Face met with Sosa, warning her of the danger and asking her to stay away for her safety. He even handcuffed her to prevent her from following them or getting involved. On the planned day, Pike met with Arab officials in an office building while Baracus took a position in a nearby building. When Pike entered the room, Baracus fired a smoke bullet to break the window, allowing Hannibal to slip in. Hannibal quickly targeted the Arab official with Pike and threw him out the window, where Murdoch was waiting in a helicopter to catch him. The sudden action surprised everyone, putting Hannibal and his team in control. Hannibal tried to retrieve a suitcase with the plates, but Pike fired at him. Despite the gunfire, Hannibal threw the suitcase out the window, and Baracus sprinted to secure it. Pike chased Baracus, firing shots until he had him cornered. Just as Pike was about to shoot, Hannibal arrived in his car to rescue Baracus and the suitcase. As Pike aimed at Hannibal's car, Sosa and her team arrived, capturing Pike before he could do more harm. Baracus and Hannibal returned to their lakeside headquarters and found a surprise. Murdoch and Face had captured an Arab official who was supposed to meet Pike. When they removed the official's headgear, they discovered it was Morrison in disguise. Morrison confessed that he had made a deal with Lynch and Pike to steal not only the plate in question but also another valuable plate from a previous mission. However, Morrison changed his mind and decided to betray Lynch by working with Pike. Morrison, Lynch, and Pike wanted the plates to print unlimited money. But Lynch's greed made Morrison and Pike fear they would get little profit. So, they planned to sacrifice Hannibal and his team and fake Morrison's death to keep the profits. Morrison revealed their scheme, and Pike and the others plotted to kill him. Before they could, Hannibal contacted Lynch, letting him know that they had secured the plates and Morrison. Lynch heard from Hannibal about the situation and decided to eliminate both Morrison and the A-Team. He ordered an attack on their location. Hannibal, by the lake, saw an incoming plane and quickly warned his team to take cover. Morrison, still in the warehouse, was killed in the explosion, but the A-Team escaped by diving into the lake. While Sosa was questioning Pike, Lynch appeared and kidnapped Pike. In the car, Lynch held Pike captive and proposed working together to get the plate from the A-Team. Back at the lake, Hannibal and his team were planning how to defeat Lynch and clear their names. Face suggested a plan. Meet Sosa at the Los Angeles dock, pretending they had the plate and Morrison, to trade for the A-Team's freedom. Hannibal agreed with Face's plan and called Sosa. Lynch intercepted their call and found out the meeting spot. Hannibal realized his phone was tapped and planned to trick Lynch. Hannibal called a meeting with his team. Murdoch would disguise himself as Morrison to distract Lynch. This would allow Hannibal and his team to attack Lynch's men at the dock. On the day of the mission, Hannibal, Murdoch, Face, and Baracus arrived at the dock. Hannibal put Murdoch, disguised as Morrison, into a shipping container. Face added to the confusion by placing another container nearby. Lynch's men were distracted, allowing Baracus to operate 2 SUVs remotely. Lynch's men attacked the cars, and Baracus detonated them, taking out all of Lynch's men except Pike. Pike, on top of a container, fired a rocket, causing chaos. He cornered Face and was about to kill him when Baracus arrived on a motorcycle, taking down Pike and saving Face. Lynch found Hannibal and Murdoch. He fought Hannibal and shot Murdoch, thinking he was Morrison. Hannibal, furious, overpowered Lynch and held him at gunpoint. Sosa and her troops arrived, arrested Lynch, and saved the day. Hannibal checked on Murdoch, who was alive, having worn a steel helmet for protection. Lynch was taken into custody, and the A-Team, though arrested again, felt proud of their mission's success. Before being taken away, Sosa kissed Face on the cheek, showing their connection. Face gave her a key to her handcuffs, symbolizing their bond. As the A-Team was driven away in a prisoner's car, Face leaned back with a confident smile, knowing their team was special and ready for any mission. As dawn broke over the dock, Lynch was officially arrested, his plans ruined by the A-Team. Even though they succeeded, the team was arrested again, ready to go back to prison. Before being taken away, Sosa and Face had a final moment alone. They shared a kiss, feeling both sadness and hope. They knew their time together was special and would never forget each other. As Face got into the prisoner's car, he pulled out the key to Sosa's handcuffs, showing his love and admiration for her. He looked into her eyes and whispered that they are a special forces team, ready for any mission. Sosa smiled and leaned in for one last kiss. She knew their paths were different, but their love would always remain. As the prisoner's car drove away, the A-Team rode off, ready to face their next challenge together as a team. So the moral of the story is, if you ever find yourself in a mess involving attack dogs, corrupt cops, explosive helicopters, and rogue CIA agents, just remember, always carry a needle, a cigar, and a good sense of humor, and maybe a tank.